What's the difference between exhibiting at a design conference versus a comic convention or pop culture event? Let's find out. Greetings, people of the internet. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome, mad creators, to the underground laboratory where we create robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. And sometimes when we create those things, we want to sell them, we want to market them, we want to get them out into your guys' hands or some people's hands. And I do that in a variety of ways. I got an online store. I used to do comic conventions, not so much anymore, but I still like getting out there and meeting with people and talking with people. One of the things I've been doing lately is going to design conferences. Now, I've never actually sold anything at a design conference, but I go there to sort of, for lack of a better word, network, meet people, meet other creatives, and just hang out and have some cool conversations, watch some cool speakers, learn some cool stuff. So I'm a big fan of design conferences, and I noticed that some of these conferences actually have like vendor areas where you can set up a little shop similar to a Comic-Con, but not so similar. So I wanted to talk about some of the differences, but I just got back from my local, the big, I guess, local design conference outside of the underground lair, which is in a secluded area, but I will say that it is somewhere in Arizona, so the closest one is Phoenix Design Week, and I got a big swag bag. I went there. Let's see what kind of stuff I got. So the whole theme, of course, it's a design conference, so everything is. I mean, the design of everything obviously is really cool, but I mean, this program is pretty amazing. All the work that they put into this, really nice looking, but it's kind of got this I don't know, infrared type of changing color look. So we got this. One of the things I got was this cup that changes color when you add water. Let's see what else. Of course, I got a lot of info and contact stuff from other people. Of course, sketchbooks, a lot of sketchbooks, stuff like that. Whoa, what's going on? More. Oh, this one's kind of cool. This one is actually gridded out, so that's kind of cool. But just, different swag and stuff like that. There was a little thing where they gave you these cool design trading cards, or not trading cards, but playing cards, and you gotta, I guess you go to the different events and you get different cards, and the one with the best hand kind of wins. And this event is still going on. This was the conference over the weekend, but the whole event goes all throughout the week. There's different events every night, or different places and everything. So I'll try to go some of those. I definitely want to go to the wrap-up party, and maybe I will take you guys through some of that. But I got some cool pencils and stuff like that, but I just like always showing off some of my swag. Of course, there's like different things, people advertising like for different co-working spaces, coasters, stickers, all that kind of stuff. I've got some like field notes. That's pretty cool. What is this? More stickers, kind of a Pantone thing, an eraser, more stickers, buttons, all that kind of stuff. So, it's kind of cool going to these conferences and get some freebies and stuff. But there's also, like I said, there's also people selling stuff. So you can go there and you can either purchase. Most of the events have like the official, like either Phoenix Design Week T-shirt, or another conference I go to is Creative South. And when you go to Creative South, it's pretty cool because you actually get, like last time I was there, they gave me this awesome hoodie, and it's a really nice hoodie, and you get a T-shirt, and they screen print it right for you there. But then they have all kinds of other T-shirts, so I bought some of those. So they've got their official kind of merch stand. But then if you're somebody like me who has a bunch of product, you can set up a shop, and that's what I did. Now, even though I kind of moved away from doing comic conventions because I just found out that the amount of time and effort and everything that was going into them was just all, there was so much preparation. It was taking me away from a lot of other things that, were a little more, profitable, or, so I kind of stopped doing that. Plus I noticed, and a lot of people, I've heard the same sentiment, that for a lot of people, the comic convention thing is just kind of tapering off as far as sales kind of dropping and everything. But I thought that maybe if I exhibited at a design conference, these are designers. These aren't, and another thing, and I've mentioned this plenty of times, but I really don't do a lot of fan art and everything, so most people that go to comic conventions, they're looking for their favorite character, and because I don't have that, and if people aren't going there looking to discover new things, it's kind of hard to introduce new things to people. So, but I thought at a design conference, even though they're quite a bit smaller, and I will go into the differences between, you know, comic conventions or pop culture events in general versus these design conferences. But I thought going there, these are all creative people, so I thought they'd be more kind of open to discovering new things and just the artistic value in it rather than just it being some character that they like. So that was my whole idea behind that. Plus I like going to these conferences, but there's some things exhibiting at these that I liked and some things that I didn't, and I'll get into those. But in order to do that, we got to go back in time a little bit, time and space, and to do that, we use the paralleloscope, which is our device that allows us to venture through parallel universes, alternate dimensions rather, space and time, all that kind of cool stuff. So we're going to go up here and we're going to check out what happened for me and how everything went at Phoenix Design Week, the Evolve conference. So let's check it out. So after becoming a little disenfranchised with exhibiting at comic book conventions, I decided to do something a little different and open a vendor shop at a design conference. Now, I've attended a few design conferences. This one is Phoenix Design Week. It's an event that goes throughout the whole week, but the conference kind of kicks off on the weekend. It's a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. So here you can see I've got my space, and I'm going to start setting this stuff up. And I want to talk a little bit about the differences between, you know, comic conventions and design conferences. Now, there's some major differences. Not that all comic conventions are the same or all design conferences are the same, but a design conference is basically a place where you go to, you know, watch speakers. It's usually for professional development, networking, things like that. In this case, it centers around graphic design or creative in general, whether you're an illustrator, a designer, a photographer, someone in the creative sphere. That's what this event is for. And they don't have a lot of vendors. I think there were just 5, but at least is this conference. So like 5 or 6 different vendors. And the good thing about this one is it's actually in the main hall where the speakers are. So you can go set up a shop in the back and you can watch the speakers. Not all conferences are like that. Another one that I go to, Creative South, kind of has it separate. Not sure I like that idea because I go there because I want to see the speakers. And this time around, this first time, I kind of learned a few things, and that will kind of dictate whether I decide to do this type of event again. Now, there are all different size comic conventions and conferences, but typically the comic conventions I've been to are quite larger. I mean, I think for this design conference there may have been at the most maybe like 500 people. I could be off, but somewhere around there, whereas the comic conventions that I go to are in the thousands, tens of thousands plus, you know. They can be pretty big, so a lot of people, but the difference is, like with a design conference, everyone there is a creative, which I thought might help with sales because I thought they would appreciate the art rather than just going there to get their favorite character, which I don't really do fan art, so people in comic conventions, they want to get their Wolverine, they want to get their Harley Quinn or Deadpool or whatever, whereas a design conference, everyone's an artist and they can kind of, I think they appreciate the design a little more. At least that was my idea, that's what I went in thinking that might happen. But as I explained, that may not have actually been the case.
Well, welcome to Phoenix Design Week. This is our 11th Phoenix Design Week. But if this is your first time attending the conference or you're a veteran, and this feels like a homecoming, we're excited to have you with us.
So sales-wise, my intuition was a little off. I didn't do that great. I mean, I did make a profit, but you know, again, I make a profit at comic conventions, but it's all the setup and all that stuff. There wasn't as much setup for this. I had a smaller booth. I was able to kind of break things down into one cart like you saw, so that was kind of cool. One trip. It wasn't too difficult to load in and out, so that wasn't that big a deal. But even one of the things that kind of surprised me, even though all the people there were creatives, I still got people asking, oh, did you create this? Which I didn't think I would have that. So there's still a little bit of a disconnect there, which that surprised me a little bit. But part of it was just me not knowing kind of what to expect, this being my first time exhibiting at a design conference. So when, basically when everyone left to lunch or the breakout sessions and everything, which I didn't attend because I had the booth there, which I like to attend, that's part of the conference I like to do, I just was kind of sitting there and there was like nobody there. So during that span of time, I thought there might be people trickling in, but there was like nobody when lunch was on or breakout sessions or things like that.
It's looking at something totally different and like taking down these barriers, and like when you take those barriers down, that's where we can find ourselves like in a truly wonderful place.
It was then that we realized that Duolingo was actually being used by both the richest man in the world and at the same time by public school children in developing countries.
So the first day, I just kind of stayed there, just sitting and doing nothing along with the other vendors. We're kind of doing the same thing. We didn't really want to leave our table or anything. But the second day, I went out to lunch with people. I started talking, and I wish I would have done some of the breakout sessions, but I'll know better next time.
It is the execution, it's the implementation that is tricky, and that's what you will bring to the table. But I would always be very generous and share your ideas.
My disabled design friends don't come up, right? Disabled people and their interaction with design don't come up. The things that come up are these false stories that brands tell about their interactions with us.
So hopefully it goes without saying that I definitely want to attend more design conferences. I'd like to go to some of them that I haven't been to before. I just like interacting with people, different creatives, meeting different people, making connections, things like that. As far as vending at one, I'm not sure, and I don't know, maybe different events are a little different. As far as Phoenix goes, I probably will do a booth again, but I'm just going to do it a lot differently. I'm going to just set up the booth. I'm not going to worry if I'm not at the booth you don't have to worry about theft because there's security and stuff there, but about missing sales and things like that. So if I'm there, if I'm not there, people can browse, and then if they want it, they can come back. But I'm not going to sacrifice going to the different breakout sessions, because those are great because you really get in depth with different topics, different speakers and things like that, and also just meeting people, hanging out at lunch and all that kind of stuff. That's one of the major benefits from doing one of these conferences. So the good thing is you can set up a shop, you can watch all the speakers and all that. I think I can partake in all the different aspects of the design conference and still have a shop there. So it's sort of a win-win because, I can go there and not make, there is a small fee, but it's really nothing compared to the typical cost that it takes to do a comic convention. So it's not that difficult to, make a profit, or at the very least break even. And the good thing is you're just not sitting there at a table. Obviously there's other things that can happen at comic convention. You get to meet people and everything. But here you kind of get to witness the whole event and everything and watch everything unfold.
I don't know if you recognize this, Hella, but this is a portrait of a famous artist. Do you recognize which famous artist it is? It's Da Vinci. Yeah, we were studying the Renaissance in the Bronx.
And I actually keep in my office, and I'm certain that it's there, that people think it's there to scare the young art directors and the copywriters. And it just says, "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here." And which also happens to be from my favorite ride at Disney World, Pirates of the Caribbean, the old one, not the new one. And the whole idea behind this is it's a reminder to me that I'm not going to reach the heights that I want to reach. And that's okay.
So when I say that I'm Robzilla, I don't want y'all to mistaken me for this guy who popped up all of a sudden last year and proclaimed that he was Robzilla. Bama even got a shirt. I was pissed. I did so much work with ESPN. Y'all gonna put this on your screen, ESPN? Y'all gonna give him a shirt? I gotta wear this shirt. It's talking about creativity isn't free. He got a shirt with my name on it. What's going on? But I'm cool. I got a philosophy in life. This is my philosophy.
So you can sort of get an idea of some of the speakers and everything, right? This is Robzilla, he kind of closed out the thing. I actually saw him also at Creative South. He was there doing a talk, but I got a chance to talk to him a little bit, and that's one of the good things about having one of these, having a booth there. As even if you're, if you're not making, a huge profit or anything, that's okay, because I think when you go to these events, it's sometimes, you're there to kind of meet people and network, and sometimes it's hard to tell people what you do, and you don't want to just like break out your portfolio or anything and like shove it in people's faces. But when you've got all your work behind you and in front of you and everything, people can get an idea of what you're all about, so you don't really have to explain. They can kind of see that. And I got a lot of people that did come by the table, whether they bought something or not. You could tell they appreciate what I do, and maybe there's a project that they might want me to be involved with, or it's just a good way to kind of get in front of people and present your stuff in sort of a non-salesy type way, because it's just there, and people come up to you. You don't have to kind of go after other people, but don't be afraid to do stuff. These things, even though I don't really know if I like the word networking, but when you're at a conference like that, it's just community and getting to know people, and you don't want to just throw your business card out in front of everybody, but people are there to meet each other and make connections, and that's kind of thing. So if you're cool with that, then these are great events to go to. And I'm always, especially my illustrator friends, because a lot of the people here are designers, marketers, photographers. There are some illustrators as well, but I try to encourage other illustrators to get involved with this kind of stuff. Even if you want to do comic book style stuff or whatever, there may be people there that need that type of look. You can kind of see the work that Rob does here. He's an illustrator. He does awesome vector stuff, and he's hugely successful. He does stuff for like all the major sports teams and beyond and everything. So and this is a great way to get started, is going to these design conferences, whether you sell there or just go out to meet people. All right, so that was my experience at not my first conference, but my first conference exhibiting, having a table, selling stuff there. I didn't go, it wasn't quite, I thought it would go better as far as, I knew there weren't going to be as many people there, but I just thought they would be more open to what I was doing. And there were a lot of people that were, and I didn't lose money. I made a profit and everything, but I kind of had some different expectations. But that's why you got to do these things, to kind of learn and discover, and then you can kind of either decide, well, maybe this isn't right for me, or I got to tweak some things. So will I be back? I think, well, I'm definitely going to be back. Whether I set up a table, I think I might, but like I said before, I think it's a matter of tweaking a few things, and I've mentioned some of the things that I'm going to do. The other thing, and these are all different, so this isn't going to be specific to if you have a design conference that you want to go to in your area or travel to one or whatever, and they're all different. Like Phoenix Design Week, the weird thing, it's a fairly big conference as far as conferences go, but it's mostly local people. Now I've gone to, like, the other one that I've gone to is Creative South, which I mentioned. Now that was a little different. It's a little smaller, but the weird thing is people come from all over, not only the United States, but all over the world. There's people from England, and people came from, I don't know if it was New Zealand or Australia, or just all over the place to this conference. It's just got this amazing reputation, just amazing people, and it's really cool. So all these conferences are a little bit different. But the thing that, one of the things that I want to do if I go back is, so I had already purchased my ticket, and this is part of an AIGA, which is a sort of it's a group for graphic designers and creatives and things like that, which I'm a part of. Now, if you're a member of AIGA, you get a pretty decent sized discount. Plus, I got the early bird, so I didn't have to pay too much for the conference. But when I bought the booth, I think it also included a ticket, and the ticket and to exhibit at a booth was less than the cost of the event itself. So that was a little weird. Now I got to talk to some other vendors and see if that's the case, but I think that is the case. So I think I could get a booth and it's actually less, assuming that you're part of AIGA, and this is specific to this event. But so I'll probably go do that. That'll bring my cost down for just the event. Plus I get to take in all the stuff of the event. I'm not gonna, when it's lunchtime and when it's time for breakout sessions, I'm gonna do all the stuff I normally would do, just leave the table and then come back, and you know, if people want to buy stuff, that's cool, I'll have it there. If not, I still get to enjoy everything. So that's kind of my plan going forward, I think. Now, whether I do decide to do this at other conferences where maybe they're not in the same area, or I don't know if I really want to risk it. Going to Creative South, I don't think I want, plus it's a traveling show, so I can't really it's hard to haul all that stuff, so I wouldn't have as cool of a setup and all that stuff. So I don't know, I'm going to talk to some people, see what they think before I make a decision. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know. Have you ever do you guys do design conferences, or just have you thought about it? Or what other than comic conventions, what are some other ways that other places that you sell your product, or you know, or your art or anything like that? You do like, you know, maybe craft shows or local signing. I do some signings, or I do commissions and things like that at comic stores. But whatever you do, let me know in the comment section. I'm always looking for new things to, you know, get the word out about the stuff that I make and everything, and meet people and everything. So let me know in the comment sections, and yeah, I will see you guys later, and that is all. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Also, you can follow me at Serkworks on social media, and now you can support the work that I do on Patreon. Do you like making comics? Then go to Serkworks.com and pick up the Comic Maker Starter Kit. It's packed full of fonts, brushes, templates, and more. And best of all, it's totally free.